for this fire department. You ought to go down there and check it out. I said, what for? Because I was already working, doing what I was doing, want to do at that time. Because I always been interested in cooking. And so she said, go on down there. You just under my feet. I can't tell my turn around. And so I said, okay. Man. So she, I didn't have no car. And I was just young then. She said, and she gave me the money to go down there and come back. And then I went down there, and, at the City Hall, passed the first part, and came back and said about 2 or 3 days they called us for the next part. And I went on my day off. It just so happened on my days off. Went down there and did that. Then she said, "Oh, you're doing pretty good down there." But it still wasn't, because I was still working. I was still getting paid.
Tell me when we're ready. Oh, we're rolling.
Okay, good.
Well, let me say, this is the official start to the interview. I got a crack through behind me.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me your first and last name. Spell your first and last name. Okay, please?
Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T, Ware, W-A-R-E, Senior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Ware, how old were you when your aunt made you go downtown?
I was just out of high school, so I was about 18, 19 years old. And then, and she said, you need to just go down there and take your test and everything. I know, that's what I did. I was just, I stayed with her, so she, and she would help providing for me, so I, whatever she did, and, she said, just go on down there. And I went down there, and like I said, I passed the first part, and then I passed the second part. Then I got interested in when we got to the third part, which was the physical part. And she said, okay, now, you done got that far. Yeah, might as well follow it on through, but I just had no idea I was going to get hired. I was just trying to get out the house, because she was going to give me the money to go and a little money to run around with. So, because I was getting paid every 2 weeks, and she filled in the blanks. But it worked out. We first got it. It was more than 16 of us. It was about 24 firemen that completed, their first part. But they only were going to hire 16 out of that 24. I think it was 24 or 25. And because they only had enough slots for the 16 of them. And that's it. And we came on out, started working. It was a long wait for them, because they were building, while we were going through the training and all the other stuff, they were building this station. And then,
Hold up. Every time you hear a sound, go ahead and stop talking, so that way it doesn't drown you out.
Okay.
See?
Mhm.
See?
I should have picked up the phone. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're so funny. You have this funny comedy going on all the time. Okay, so, no, see this phone, me and this phone aren't gonna go too well. This is my house. Nobody picks up the phone at my house.
Mhm.
I came home the other day and I had a 25-minute message because the cat had knocked the phone off the thing.
Mhm.
And somebody was on it going, hello, hello? Okay,
Yeah.
so you got to the third part?
Yes, and I was interested in, and then it was, I said, well, I'm gonna go down, and I went on down, past the first part, second part, third part, fourth, and the fifth part, and then we start the training, and boy, that's what we were in there laughing, talking about a while ago, about how it was down there, at the training tower, and
Why were you laughing? What made you laugh?
we was talking about the ladders. They put up. They wanted a 100-foot ladder, aerial ladder, and the highest they can get at that time was the 85-foot ladder, extension ladder. A truck to carry the ladder, and then they had two of them. They had to go up. They just put them up like this, and then and somebody had to go, the first person had to go up and, tie the two ladders together. And then as you were going up, the ladder just kept moving like that. But once you got to the top, you had to take the rope. We had a rope that we used, our regular rope that we used from working, and tie the two ladders together. And then once you tie the two ladders together, and you had to put the leg lock on the ladder, which I still know how to do, and extend your hands out like that. And then you come back on the other side, and then you cross over to the other side and come back down.
100 feet in the air.
It was about 100 feet in the air. It was 85 feet. That's the tallest ladder they had, but from the ground it was about 100.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
Now, I have to kind of laugh at you a little bit, Mr. Ware, because all you wanted to do was get out from under your aunt.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you never knew you were making history. Were you prepared for the stuff that came at you when you took the job?
No, we wouldn't.
Okay, use a complete sentence. They never hear the sound of my voice.
Yeah, they never, we never did because we were just thankful to get a job with the city. And, but it was just so amazing once we got into the fire station themselves. Now that's when the problem started. And really, hardly can, after doing the time that I spent with the fire department, it wasn't totally their fault because I just had this one guy, he was awesome. And then he found out that he never been around black folks. He been around white folks all the time. He never been around black folks. So he told me that. And he see them, but he ain't no day-to-day, being with them. And he said, that was some of the problem. And I noticed that when I was at station up in Buckhead, and sometimes we had to go up in Fulton County, fill in for them. And I was saying that that was the problem with them. And then they were saying that not only with them, and they had to take this back home. That the white had to go back home. It wasn't easy for them either, because they had to go home and to their family, and they still got this going on with them. And it's when they get back home, they got to adjust, and then they got to adjust back when they got back to the fire station. But it was a whole lot of inner stuff that was going on that nobody even knew about, that felt about it. But there were some rough guys up there, especially when we were down in station number 6.
Now, you're the second person to mention station number 6. Where was it located, and what made it so hard?
Well, it's located Auburn Avenue, and
Start your sentence again. Station number 6 is located.
station number 6 is located at Auburn Avenue and Boulevard, right across the street from King Center. And it was a small station, and that's the one that had the pole to it. And we had to step upstairs and we had to slide the poles down. And when we went over there, and cause we were mostly here, we wasn't it wasn't so bad here. It wasn't so bad here because they had already been trained, and I mean the white guys, they knew we was coming, and they were ready for us. I guess they had classes for them too, But when we got to number 6, we just went. It wasn't the people that we came up with, like we trained and worked with here. We went into a whole new environment. But that was the worst part of it when we went down to station number 6. And it was, we already knew what we were going to do, and they didn't give us no advance warning. They just, it was like 3 or 4 of us went, and the more joined us probably was there. But at fire station number 6, those officers there and the white guys were there. It was something to deal with. But I don't know why I heard that when we was at one of these gatherings, one of the guys, he couldn't take it. I don't know what his name was, but he was on the original 16, and he was getting ready to go to work. he was on the day shift at that time. He had his gun. He had his pistol. And he was going, and I don't know how his aunt, he was living with his aunt. I don't know how his aunt saw the pistol. Or she must have saw it when he picked it up or saw it as he was going out the door. And she got it from him. He said he was on this was on the day shift. We had 3 shifts, A, B, and C, you know. And he said he gonna kill every white person on that shift. And then it was just that bad. You know, he said he gonna kill every white person on his shift that day. If his aunt hadn't took that gun, that, you know, I'm glad she did. And but
Tell me about the emotions. Now, I know that at one point they didn't want you to sleep on beds.
oh no.
You know, so tell me about the bed situation.
Okay, we each was signed to a bed, each a bed shift, you know, gonna shift. Now, I had bed, you know, 2 beds in the room. And okay, when you and sometimes we sub, you know, like we had sub, you work for another guy, you swap days with another person. If that person was white, okay, we couldn't sleep in his bed, you know. But if we slept in, you know, if that was no other bed for us to sleep in, you had to take the cover off of your bed, your original bed, and put it on his bed. You couldn't sleep on his cover. And not only that, you know, they didn't want us to eat out of the same dishes. Okay, they had dishes for the black and they had dishes for the white. And then so they called me with the radical one. If you see the picture up there on the guy with all 16 of us, everybody got their hand folded like that. My hand is straight down. And you couldn't use the same bathroom like the captain's bathroom. You know, 16 of us. Hey, you know, we all had to go sometime, and sometimes we got to go together. So I went in the captain's bathroom. Woo-wee. Yeah.
What made it worth it?
What made it worth it?
Okay, well, he told me to stand by. And we have another truck coming. That's a lot of truck.
Yeah,
They're not gonna come in.
Are you okay?
Right here, but
That's fine. We'll get out
they are gonna come in. Normally they lay down.
yes, yes. Now, like, see that ladder back
Okay,
there?
wait, hold. I'm gonna let you talk in just a second. Cause I don't want to miss anything that you say. Okay. Oh, you do? Okay, so I got some that sound on that. Okay. You just don't have all the video. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and talk to him. Oh, wait a minute. So when you looked at the truck that we just heard pull in,
Yeah, I was thinking about that. That was the kind of truck they had. I don't know how long that ladder was, but it wasn't. It was the longest ladder that the city had. And it was just like that. When you let it up, you had to climb up it, and go up it, and tie the rope together. I said, man, everybody said we were in the alphabetical order, but I said I want to be, get it over with. So I was number 3. I went up there and man, you could feel that ladder moving like that. But once you got to the top where it was tight, it wasn't all that bad. Man, and you had to come back down, They said they didn't want you climbing up like a kid. That's what we were asking about. They didn't want you to climb up like you be so scared, like you scared and climb the ladder like that. They want you to just stand back and just like you walking.
oh my God.
Well, like we was at fire station number 21
Now, where was that located? You have to tell me where it is.
in Buckhead. It was
Can
on
you give me a complete sentence? Fire station
fire
21.
station 21. It's located up in Buckhead on Buckhead Avenue, and it's no longer there now. They moved it around the corner, and then we had this guy. Like I said, we couldn't sleep it. That's what all. Because you couldn't sleep in the same bed. You couldn't use the dishes, and they wouldn't eat. They wouldn't eat when we ate. We on one side, blacks on one side, and the whites on the other side. And we had a fire one night up in Buckhead, and this guy, this one of the meanest one was up there. Didn't like us and didn't want to do it. Nothing that we asked to do, be engaged with us. And we had a fire. And I wasn't at the place where it was. I was on the other side. It was in a basement up there in Buckhead. And he got in some kind of trouble, and this black guy saved his life. And then, this is emotion.
That's fine. That's fine. We are so proud of you.
You know, one time he, just bring back so many memories. Okay. And then, this guy said, he came back. We were all sitting around, we're sitting around the table talking about the fire. And so he came up and he said, I want to talk to you all. He called the whole group in, everybody. He called, he said, you want to talk to everybody. He went to the captain and told him, he said, you want to talk to everybody. And then he came in there, and so I didn't know what was going on. I said, oh boy, here we go with some more mess. And then he got around, he told us, said, I want to thank you. He got up, he called this black guy up and said, I said, I want to thank you for what you did for me down there in the basement. And he said, I'll never be, he never had nobody around me, a black person that I'll be engaged in. He said, I want to thank you, and shook his hand. Now, we don't, the blacks still sitting like we used to sit, black on one side, white on the other side. So this white guy shook this black guy's hand. And then I guess he had already talked to those white guys, and he looked up, and he just turned around to him, and all the white guys got up and shook that guy's hand, and we all shook hands. And then it was better from there on.